Hello, Leo. Welcome to your October 2016 reading. I hope that you're doing well, and I really can't wait to see what information's coming through. Actually, as I was shuffling, I already got your channeled information, and sort of as I was meditating on your sign. And this month, it is all about innovation. Innovation is about changing things up. It's not necessarily as hard as it sounds. It's a little bit more research perhaps than like an evolution would be, where it happens naturally. Innovation, you really have to work a little bit and you have to take a risk, you have to try something new. So in your job, there could be a new technique to get your work done faster or a different way to present your work. If you own a business, you might introduce a new sort of software package to help with scheduling or to help with payroll or something like that. And then just for those of you that want to know how to innovate in your life, it can be about trying new things that improve your quality of living. So maybe you've always wanted to try some sort of a new exercise technique to really get you further on your workout regimen and see if that sort of helps. It can also be about changing up like the technology that you're using to monitor your health, or maybe you decide to purchase a different type of automobile because you want something that's more fuel efficient. But anyway, changing something up so that you're not doing the same thing, because a lot of times we expect to see changes happening in our lives without making the changes ourselves too. You have to sort of start it at your end and begin with a catalyst, and that is a perfect segue to sort of take a look at one of the cards fell here, what your catalyst should be for this month. And the catalyst that I pull every month is that desired action to really set things in motion. So your desired action is to use your imagination, which is really right on the lines of innovation. It said, use your imagination, you'll see the answer. I also think this means to just go for something that's way outside of your comfort zone if it feels good. Like if you've always wanted to try something, but just maybe because you're afraid of failure, or you think people may not respond to it, you haven't done it, but it still feels intuitively like something you want to do. Well, this month is the time to try that. For those of you that are super creative, that imagination card is basically, and we see that here with the High Priestess, that's saying tune in, listen, explore. We've got some beautiful cards here right at the center, looking really like it's off to a good start for you. But I do see a massive change happening for your sign this month. Hopefully it's an exciting change, and we actually pulled two cards at the end, but that's okay. So we'll see what the clarification is. All right, so right at the center, we have a really wonderful Chariot card, which as it's beautifully illustrated, it really does show that this month is about forward motion, almost undeniable forward motion. And the interesting thing is, when I look at your ego position, what I see with this is a need to restructure. And so that's where the innovation came through as your channeled information. Now, for some of you, this can mean restructuring at work, which isn't always a fun thing. This could mean that your own job could be in question. It could also mean that there's changes that are happening in the company, and you have to make sure that you want to be a part of those changes. This usually in reverse is not as bad as upright, and there really is no good or bad, but I should say it's not as impactful. The reversal shows some stagnation going on, and what you want to do with stagnation is change it to get out of it. So if you're in a job that is fine, there's no restructuring, what this means is you're kind of stuck. You need to change things up a little bit. So either do some of the innovation that we talked about, or potentially look for other things that you can do at that company. Maybe a transfer, maybe you ask for new responsibilities, maybe you ask for a mentor. There's a lot of things you could do, but I see in regards to work, potentially some changes. It can also be symbolic of an actual death or a loss in your life. And if that's the case, I'm seeing it towards the middle of the month. So just be prepared for some changes. There's a lot of positive though, and I don't ever see death as negative. I just see it as an indicator for change, or in this case, a need to get out of stagnation. Your intuition should be heightened this month. We have the High Priestess card here, which basically says creativity, and then also your own clairvoyance and your intuitive abilities should be heightened. The other thing the High Priestess is really good for is for basically getting a little bit closer to spiritual practice, to faith. And so if that's something that brings you happiness and peace, you should go deeper into that this month, because it seems like you'll get a lot of energy back. Whatever you put into it, you're going to get returned from it. When we look into your deep past here, I can see that work has been a really big focus for you over the course of the last couple of months, maybe this whole quarter of the year. And I see some slow but steady growth in that area, which is great. I'm really seeing a sense of a needing to make a change. The Justice card is upright, it's not reversed, so I'm not getting that this is a breakup. I'm not getting that this is something that's necessarily worth worrying over, but what I see is that there's a decision on the horizon where you're going to have like a fork in the road. You're going to have to make your mind up if you want to continue on the present path or take a shift. For some of you, the Justice card can also mean litigation. In that regards, you're actually not in a bad place, because we have the Chariot, the High Priestess, the Mother of Pentacles, and the Daughter of Swords. This basically showing that as long as you stick to the letter of the law, as long as you do your research, things are looking pretty good. So it's not a bad time to take up litigation or to basically create a lawsuit if that's something you need to do. Just be really careful about who you talk to about this. This is always a question of basically how much work you want to put into this as well. So if it suits your best interest, if this is something you really want to solve, then it's worth it. The other thing with the Five of Swords, 5s and 7s to me are always about asking yourself, am I on the right path? Is this what I want to do? Because typically with 5s, there's a lot of work that's entailed. If you look at a 5 of Wands, it shows that sometimes you're spinning your wheels. With the 5 of Swords, you're starting to question, am I doing this correctly? You may even question loyalty around you. What I'm seeing here with the 7 of Swords also here coming through is there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And for you, the light's probably not going to come until about the 2nd to 3rd week of the month. So I would say really focus on just getting work done, trying not to overanalyze. And then if you're still feeling stuck after that point, the end of the month is going to bring up some interesting possibilities for you. As we look towards the last 2 weeks, we actually have the Wheel of Fortune. Now it's reversed, which means if you do want to make a shift in career, or if you want to make some changes in your finances, you're going to have to really own and research this. It's going to be hard to sort of just go and find the answer. The other thing is, I really want you to look at your long-term goals with finances, because I feel like you've started to accomplish some of them, but it's more about what you want to do in 3 to 5 years, where the question marks are sort of like floating. And that's where you have to look at your present career trajectory, whether you're self-employed or working for someone, and thinking, is it accomplishing what I originally set out to? When I look at your final 2 cards, we pulled the 8 of Pentacles, which is usually pretty good. And this is about you possibly wanting to network, take a new class, get a certification, and basically start to, I like the idea of a web here. It really is about a network though, and about reaching out. So this is the month to talk to friends, to pull out your phone, which is the new Rolodex basically, and think, who haven't I talked to for a while? And especially if you want to find help or advice on, what to do next with your life, particularly like career stuff. Because I see a couple of cards here that usually show stagnation, the Hanged Man and the Death card. So if you're feeling like, I want to make a change, but I don't know how to, absolutely reach out for mentorship this month. I think that would be a great thing to do. When I'm looking at your physical health, and we'll go deeper into that when I expand your forecast, the only thing that I'm seeing for you is, I got this sort of like pins and needles sensation. So I feel like some of you may be too sedentary, sitting a little bit too much. So really be careful and pay attention to circulation in your legs, and make sure that if you are sitting a lot, you're taking ample breaks, and that you are stretching as needed. I feel like this has more to do with hips, legs, calves. So pay attention to the lower part of your body. And if you're doing like what I'm doing and sitting, you're cutting off circulation sometimes on the legs. So you need to be taking breaks, once every 1 or 2 hours to make sure that the circulation is running well enough. But I do see overall your career Options are going to open towards the last part of the month. Your money situation should be okay, but I feel like some of you are stagnant in your job, and either stagnant in the way that you're approaching it, or the habits, or just maybe there's a glass ceiling and you can't quite break through that. And if that's the case, it's okay to look for something else. All right, so let's expand the forecast as promised and take a look first at health and see if I get any more information about, it's really about circulation this month, I think, for you. So whatever type of exercise, stretching, or activity is going to improve circulation, go for it. All right, so one thing that comes through, and this is more about mental happiness and health, this is a great month to start to do more volunteer work. So if you are feeling like your job isn't satisfying you, or you're at a point where you have a little bit more expendable income that you can share and spend on things, then this is saying absolutely try some volunteer work and allow yourself to sort of feel more fulfilled doing that. Let's take a look now at the other thing with service here is this has less to do with your health, but also has to do with, I guess this is more about safety. Take a look at small things around the house that could be basically falling like behind schedule in renovation. So maybe you haven't checked the stairwell in a while and the banister's loose, or in your car the brakes may need to be serviced. The service here also means for your health and safety. You want to make sure that your house is up to code, sorry about that, and that your car is as safe as it can be, and that little things like just take a look at your shoes, make sure everything in your life is safe, and that if you have anything that has basically been overdue for service or repair, you don't delay on that, okay? Now let's take a look at wealth and see what's coming through in regards to career, money, finances, job. All right, it's all about what you want to do. A lot of times we don't necessarily tune into what our intention is. And I love that intention is symbolized by this owl on a gigantic egg, because you need time to incubate, to fertilize, to allow something to actually come into the world. It's like giving birth or hatching an egg here. So it will not happen overnight. Some of these things, if you want to, for instance, if you wanted to like build a house, it may take 3-4 months or a year to sort of set the foundation together, put everything in, get the plumbing, get the electricity. It's the same thing with the dream. So if you are trying to get that promotion, it might actually take 9 to 12 months. And the indicator on this is potentially a 2-year cycle that you're in, just a little bit under. I got the number 22 at the top. It's about 24 months would be 2 years, and I'm really seeing you on a 2-year cycle. So look at what you want to do. I enjoy writing, so if you wanted to write a novel, it can take a couple of years to get it to the point that you're going to be ready to sell it or share it with someone. So plan now, set an intention, and be very faithful and optimistic about that intention. And try some different ways at kind of going after whatever it is you really desire. But if you don't have a goal, it's sort of like you are spinning wheels then. So I think we should constantly be looking at goals for ourselves and others. Not just work goals, but life goals and passionate goals. And maybe it's about traveling to another country. Maybe it's about learning another language, or deciding that you wanted to learn how to read tarot cards. Whatever it is, figure that out and set it as an intention and then work on it. All right. When we look at love and relationships, self-reflection comes through. And a lot of the cards this month, I think it's because we're coming out of the retrograde shadow, have to do about self-love and self-reflection. It doesn't seem to matter how much I shuffle the deck. I'm always picking introspective cards this month. So what I want you to do for love is, before you point a finger of blame or get into an argument, take a look and see, am I upset at this person or something else in my life, and am I just simply projecting anger on them? And also, if you're looking for love, think about how happy you are with yourself. I had a lot of cards this month about self-love. So this could be, are you satisfied with who you are and what you're doing? Because if you're not, expecting someone else to be is not a good expectation. So this is really about tuning into what's realistic and what's coming from you so that you have a better idea of how the other person fits into the equation. All right, and finally, let's take a look at your destiny card, where you're headed. And these are very energy-based cards, so it'll be a little bit abstract, but I want to see what information is coming through. All right, this is beautiful, actually. For this one, what I see is the need to not be the person that's being dragged behind someone. So you should be leading the force here, like going ahead of everybody else. That's why we got innovate. Innovation is not about, it's not a reactive quality, it's a very proactive card. It's a very proactive quality. So for you, you want to be sort of leading the charge, moving straight ahead, and yeah, you have to take some risks this month, and I would say over the next 3 months. And risk taking is never fun, so you need to calculate the potential risks associated with it and take the ones that you're most comfortable with, obviously. But nothing is going to be gained if there's not something that's at stake. Otherwise, it stays the same. It is in stasis. So we got a lot of confirmation and clarity on how and when you need to innovate. Let me summarize everything, and I think it will bring everything into focus for you. Centrally speaking here, this is a month of movement. I have a lot of cards showing horses, showing movement forward, and showing that you don't want to be sort of caught in the sort of the dust, left behind in the dust. So start this month off really strong. Even the first week, it's a great time to take a chance, take a risk, and make forward momentum happen. Listen to your intuition this month. Spend a little bit more time with faith and with meditation. It will be something that brings you not only clarity, but great peace of mind. You've done a good job with money in the past. There may be some need to reevaluate how your long-term goals are sort of looking, though. And if you are feeling sort of stuck in your present situation, then it's time to network. It's maybe time to take a class to improve your skill set, to go to networking events. Do anything you can to start to feel like you're less trapped. And because we have justice, the hanged man, and death, for some of you that means stepping away from your present job or relationship. For those of you that are looking for love this month, there may be a very strong air sign coming in, like a Libra, an Aquarius, or a Gemini. And I'm getting slightly younger, though, for this. It's probably in the 20 to 30 year range, not so much 40 and above. So maybe that will help you. Otherwise, this really isn't a month I would start a new relationship and go too deep into it because of the death card reverse. If you are courting someone, that's fine. If you're already in a relationship, one thing this is saying is to just really be as straightforward and communicative as possible. Reminder again that your channeled information was one of innovation. When we looked at how to basically start this all off with the catalyst, it is to use your mind, to use your imagination. Something the High Priestess is very beneficial to sort of like reflect upon. So again, I think it is all about your internal creativity, your internal fire, and tapping into that. When we look at your health, you want to actually pay attention to things around you. Is everything safe? This is about safety. For mental well-being, it's about actually volunteering and getting out in the community, but do take a look at all the stuff around you, make sure it's up to code. Set an intention and a plan, a 2-year plan in motion, and start it this month. Without having your sights on something, it's harder to be successful because you don't know where you're going. Self-reflection is really the key to success in all relationships this month. Take a look at yourself and think, are you happy? What issues do you need to resolve? And if you are having challenges with other people, how much of it is them and how much of it could really be from some pent-up frustration in you? And this sort of symbolic card showing someone's energy being sort of behind this horse, for me it's reading, don't be caught sort of like sleeping at the wheel. I really want you to be awake, aware, and pushing forward. You need to be in control. That's why the Chariot is your central card. So don't delay, make things happen this month, take some risks, okay? Some exciting stuff going on for you this month. I hope it all works out in a great way. Keep me posted on that. That concludes our monthly reading. So if you still have questions after this, which is natural sometimes, you can reach out to me. I do have increased availability over the next couple of months, so hopefully that will help. Feel free to book an appointment if you'd like. Otherwise, stay in touch with me. I'll be releasing at least one meditation video this month, and a great way to know when all of this stuff is happening is to sign up for my newsletter or subscribe to the channel here. And I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, so those are great ways to keep in touch as well. Finally, I just want to say thank you, because every month you guys make these videos possible with your subscribes, your likes, and all the really positive comments that you are gracious enough to put here, and it really helps me to know that this is making a difference, so thank you. Last and not least, but if you actually feel like you'd like to give back a little bit and that this was of assistance and benefit to you, then I'll put a donation button as well. Otherwise, I will see you in 1 month's time, and I just want to say again, Satnam, thank you, and have a fantastic October, okay? Bye-bye.